In this video, I'm going to teach you what EQ is all about. So you're going to have a proper understanding of what EQ is all about and why do you use it in your mix and how to use it in your mix. Hello guys, my name is Cleanse from Lagos, Nigeria, and I want to plead with you to please do subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you've already subscribed to this channel, thank you for subscribing, and if you are here to subscribe, please do subscribe. Every sound that we hear has different frequencies, and what is the frequency simply means their frequencies are sound waves. They are sound waves, or the amount of sound that you can hear per second. Now, humans have range the amount of sound or the amount of frequency that we humans can detect ranges from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, or 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Animals like dogs can dictate above 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz up to 40 kilohertz to 50 kilohertz, which can mean 40,000 hertz to 50,000 hertz. But we humans can only hear from between the ranges of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and this is the frequency spectrum. This is called the frequency spectrum. Now, instruments. Now, every sound, every sound lives in different region of the frequency spectrum. Every sound that you hear lives in different region of the frequency spectrum. Now, for instance, instruments like a kick or a bass line lives around the low end frequency spectrum. Instruments like the piano, pad instrument or pad strings, or the human voice, our own voice, lives around the mid range of these frequencies, while instruments like the hi-hat or the guitar lives around the high frequency. Now, let me show you what I mean. Let's try out the kick. Let's try the kick. Now, if you can see the kick, you can see the kicks. The kick is sounding around the low end here, so it lives around the low frequency. So now, if we remove parts, okay, before I come to this parts, let me now let's now leave kick. Let's go to hi-hats. Let's go to hi-hats. So this one is hi-hats. Let's see. Let's play. You can see the hi-hat lives around the high frequency. You can only hear it around the high frequency. You can only hear it around the high frequency. And let's listen to the pad. let's check out the pad. You can see we can see that the pad is playing around the mid frequency, from the low mid to the high mid frequency. So that's where our mid, so that's where our pad is. So it lives around the mid frequency. Now, what is EQ? What is an EQ? This sorry this is called an EQ. This is an EQ. An EQ is a plugin or a tool. Let me use the word a tool. An EQ is a tool which which you can use to add, remove, increase or reduce any part of the frequency you do not want in a particular sound. EQ, I'm giving a basic understanding of EQ now. EQ is a tool that we use to remove, add, increase, reduce, or clean any part of these frequencies that we do not want, that we do not want in a particular sound. So now let me show you, let me give you more example, let me be more elaborate. Now the kick naturally lives around the low part, the low region of a sound, the low region of the frequency spectrum. It lives around the low frequency of the low part region of the frequency spectrum. Now, most of us just want to use EQ because we feel like, oh, most engineers use EQ, without knowing why you want to use the EQ. Now, let's play this EQ. Now this EQ is sounding around the low frequency. So if you cut out this frequency where the kick lives, if you cut it out, which is the body of the kick, then you've changed the sound. Now you can see how it's sounding. You can hear how it's sounding. You can hear how the kick is now sounding because you have removed the body of the main sound. You've changed the sound because the kick lives around this part. So you attenuating it or removing it, you are killing the sound. Now let's try the. So what do you do first of all? Let's go to hi-hats. Let's say in this hi-hat, now the hi-hat lives around the high range. So if I move from this 20 hertz to this 2k hertz to 2 kilohertz or 1 kilohertz, there is not going to be any changes made to this hi-hat because the hi-hat originally lives around this place. So let's just watch. Let's try. You can see no changes made. But now let's go back. What if, since the sound the hi-hat itself lives around the high range. If I remove from the high range, if I remove this high part of the frequency, it's going to kill the hi-hat and it's going to change its sound. Now let's see. This is what I mean. You can see here. You can see. Now you can't even hear the hi-hat anymore. But it's there. But you've killed it. You've killed it. That's why you cannot hear it. Now you see. Now how do we use this sound? How do we use this sound? How do we use? How do we use EQ to clean up our sound or remove, add, reduce or increase? Remove or add certain frequency. Let me use remove or add. That's the best language that fits. To remove or add or clean up a certain frequency that we do not want. Let's say for instance, originally, this hi-hat sounds like this. Sorry. Let's say originally this hi-hat sounds like this. Now you can hear some certain low end on the hi-hat, and you feel like, oh, this part, they are hearing some certain low end on the hi-hat, and you felt like this part of the frequency on the hi-hat shouldn't be there. That's when all you need to do is to just clean it up and remove it, that part, to make it clean. Can you get the logic? Originally, let's say this hi-hat sounds like this. Now you are hearing some kind of low ends on your hi-hat, and you know your hi-hat is supposed to have that sizzling, that high part of the frequency to make it sound sweet. And probably this low part of the frequency on the hi-hat is causing problem. It's not making it to shine through the mix. All you just need to do is to remove the parts, to remove that part of the low frequency. That's just a basic understanding of what EQ does. Now, for instance, this kick, you want to add more punch to it. You felt like okay, this kick is cool. I'm okay with the kick. Now, first of all, the kick lives around. Okay, I already showed you guys that. So let's say you just want to add more punch to this kick. What you can do, if I want to add more punch to this kick, all I can do is okay. Let me add more punch. You can see. Now this is what EQ does. This video is just about the basic understanding of what we use EQ for. Advanced part where you have to do all the tweaking might be in another video. I'll make a video soon where I'll teach you guys on how to tweak. Probably you're doing your cutting, you're cutting some parts of the part that you don't want, bringing this part, tweaking, adding some punch, removing, just all this sorts all these kind of changes to your sound. Now let's hear how it my kick is sound. So this is how my kick is sounding now. Now it doesn't have that punch again. So this video is just about basic understanding of what EQ is used for and how to use it. So with this basic understanding, I feel like you can start learn what part of the frequency that you want to remove from your sound or want to add to your sound. Thank you guys for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day.